Welcome back to Gold Rush, the game on console, for episode 15 with me, MrSealyp. It's the dawn of a new day. Which day that is, I couldn't tell you. I'm having all sorts of problems with this. I want to carry on, I really do, but I'm reaching a point where I'm having a few problems with it. In that's now saying 10 days to summer, and it's not 10 days to summer. I think I was on about 3 days to autumn. I don't know why it slipped over to that. Now, it could be I'm supposed to be on 10 days to winter now if I flipped over to autumn, because I have been working a few days, as you're about to see. We started off digging down here. Let's get... Oh, hang on. Let's get that on. The problem is with this location, when the sun comes up, it takes almost till lunchtime before the sun comes over here, and this all lights up properly. So I've got a couple of... Well, I've got that light there. That one's actually not doing very much over there, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, we dug down here. Round to the right, up to the corner. Haven't done right into the corner. I probably will do at some point. And then we've kind of gone at a bit of a funny angle, and there's a reason for that. That's because of the plot. We came down here at 113. We're roughly here, 138, 113. So we dug into that corner to get all that good stuff there. Then we came down here. Now, where it goes out at an angle is here at 134. And I've been using the drilling machine I get into the drilling machine every now and again to keep a check on the grid. And then here, we take a dogleg out. And what I did was placed the bulldozer along that line there, so I knew how far to go out to. Then we turned and we're going that way. So what I'm doing now is gradually clearing back from there, as you'll see as we go in. So this is the turn there. That's the turn from that direction to that direction. So we're digging that way now. So it's kind of right to there, and then so this whole face here, we're digging back. So what I've also done, I'm probably not going to be able to get out of here, am I? It's not going to let me. Anyway, there's the drill. That is the outer edge, which is out here. I've placed that at 154. I think it's just there between 154 and 179. So I know when I get all the way out to there, to the drill, that plot, it's pretty much cleared of any, mostly the good stuff. Now, I could do what I did before and just keep quarrying out. There's a few bits here which don't look too bad, but then what we'll do is once we've done that bit, move on to here. So again, I'm at that situation where I'm sitting currently on 28,285, 590.590 grams. I've got 2 3/4 buckets of magnetite to take, which we're going to do. So what we're going to do now is take all of that. The gear's running fine. I've had a couple of breakdowns, nothing major, a few odds and ends here and there. I think I've got a couple of switches that my engineer is working on at the moment in here, which are broken. Actually, it was 2, now it's only 1, so that's obviously brilliant. Engineer's doing a cracking job. Turn the lights off because we don't need those while we're away from home. So yeah, everything seems to be working great. Now, has it been as productive as that first load I put through in the last episode? No. That weirdly was an anomaly, considering I had 20% of that first lot was from my old claim. It's been up and down. It's been better than old Arnold's, of course it has. Yeah, it's been up. Has it been as up as I thought it was going to be? No. I'm not quite sure why it hasn't. Now I need to go to the factory, providing this is going to work. There we go, and travel. I could drive. It's a bit of a drive over. We might as well travel. Makes life a bit easier. We'll get on our magnesite. We'll do what we've done before. We'll go to the blacksmiths, do any upgrades we can do. We should be able to do at least 1, if not 2, with the amount of magnetite we'll get. Oh, that landed at a funny angle. That's the plan. And then we'll go and we'll sort our gold out, and then, as we've done before, we'll kind of go from there. I'm thinking of getting the Frankenstein. Now, thank you to everyone who's commented on the last few episodes. Various different things. I've had people saying, the Frankenstein is a great bit of kit, but, and there is a but to it, it's kind of limited in what you can do with it. It's great when you start out. I mean, in essence, it's just a long conveyor belt, really. It's just a huge conveyor belt on an excavator's frame sort of thing. But it does mean you haven't got to do runs backwards and forwards with a dump truck or anything like that. You can just load when you've dug from the face or you're using an excavator, you just tip it straight into that, and that will run right the way to your setup, which is fantastic. So I'm thinking I might anyway. The problem is it's not cheap. So I could take a bit of a hit on it if I use it for a little bit and then find, actually, you know what, it's not quite what I thought or not as useful as I thought. It could have been a huge waste of money. So a lot of people have said don't. Because I'm running my setup at the moment, and it's that kind of thing. It came originally as part of the Frankenstein DLC, as a few bits did. Right, we've got 28% in the magnetite trailer. Let's flip the handle and see what we end up. We were at 55,000 magnetite at the moment. Okay, 483,539 grams of magnetite. So yes, there was all of that. Yeah. And there's a lot of the tier 5 stuff was all part of the original Frankenstein DLC, which obviously if you're playing this on console, as I am, as of the new release, or newish release, it's been a little while now, that all was part of what you bought. So my other option I'm thinking is reinforced trommel as being my first purchase. The Glacier Creek I want to get, but that's really expensive. It's going to depend what we end up with now. You know, how much we end up getting, how much bang for the buck we get, kind of thing. I could hang around and I could wait for various different discounts and things like that, but you could be waiting forever and not get the one you want. And when they have come up, it's about having the money to get them when they do come up, and I haven't. So, and the other thing I was saying about, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm probably, you know, my excitement in the game when I first started, and have I played it out to its conclusion? Now the thing about it is there are 4 parcels, and the other 2 parcels are supposed to be richer in gold, but they're supposed to be harder to actually get the gold out of the ground, which adds a bit more of a challenge. And this is just me being totally honest with the game and, you know, what I'm doing. But the issue I have is I want to try out the tier 5 stuff because I want to see how much more gold I get. How much more effective is it? The tier 4 stuff, it made a difference. Not as much of a difference as I thought it was going to. When you read all the blurb, I mean, if we go into here and we scroll across and you read all the stuff about the various different bits of equipment, you know, the reinforced trommel, the newest, the biggest, the most wanted trommel in the gold mining business. Now, I know they're going to fluff this up a bit, but now, of course they are. It gives you the maximum performance and efficiency in extracting gold from dirt. The so-called Tier 5 guarantees you that money spent in the shop will give you a great return on investment. Your digging time won't be wasted. You'll be happy with the outcome. You know, great. And the same thing when you go through and you look at all the upgraded, you know, where is it? Back this way. The gravel pumps, so the same thing. The gravel pump's only 1 bucket rather than 2, which does make me wonder how that's, I don't know. But anyway, so you start then thinking, I'm not sure, the Glacier Creek at the moment is going for 1,044,360. But again, it's supposed to pull out even the finest particles of dirt and everything comes out, which is wonderful. But after spending all that money, is it going to be commensurate with how much you get out of it? And I suppose the only way to do it is to try, you know. So, upgrades, where are we at? We are at, what have we unlocked so far? We've got that one to do. Okay, smelting cost reduced. We've done that. That one we haven't done. So, smelting amount increased, so we can smelt more at a time. Why is that not going down? There we go. I think that's probably, because I'm quite happy with the time it's taking. Actually, I can do both, can't I? I've got enough. That's 175,000 needed, so I can reduce my smelting cost. Let's do that. I did the one next to it already. I can increase the amount I'm smelting. What's that one? I haven't got quite enough left now. But that's 250,000 grams needed to smelt more again. And that'll be all the upgrades done. That's as far as we can get to. So I'm only going to need another, yeah, what, 42,000? 42,000 grams, and I can unlock that. That's all the blacksmith upgrades will then be done. But again, that kind of leads me to my kind of point of we're almost, as far as achievable things to do, wow. So we can now smelt 5,102 at a time. The cost is a bit up there. Gold losses seem a lot, but we're smelting way, way more. Which means each bar is going to be worth a huge amount. Now, I've said this before when I've come over and done this. It doesn't seem to take too long. Oh, yeah, somebody wants to work for you. I'm glad that popped up. I had a few people comment to say you can employ more than one engineer at a time. I had a look, and it seems you can employ more than one of anything if you want to. The problem I had was I couldn't put both, not engineer, mechanics. Smelt the gold. I couldn't put both mechanics on the same claim, on the same parcel. I tried everything I could. I had one assigned to where I'm at the moment on Rivertown. I employed the second one, and I could not get it to assign to that parcel as well. So I couldn't have two mechanics running on the same. And I don't know if it was something I was doing wrong, potentially, but it just would not let me. So I've completely lost my thread as to what I was saying. Apologies for that, and that is I had just had to take an important phone call. Yeah, not going to go into the details, but I've just completely. Oh, never mind. Okay. Right. Well, it's amazing how quickly you can get through your gold when it's doing 5,000 grams at a time. I preferred it when you had loads and loads of gold bars there. It looked better. I know they're bigger bars, aren't they? I suppose. Are they bigger bars? They seem to be getting larger every time you do one. And then the last little bit. Well, they are going to be worth a fair old bit, I think. I suppose that's a good thing as well, because they're larger bars as well. It doesn't take as long to get through it all, which means I'm not standing around as much. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about the mechanics. Was it that? Could have been that. Right, then we've got the last one. Whiz round to the bank. Let's check that out. And then it's seeing what we end up with. Oh, the thing is, I really want to try out the Frankenstein, but I don't know whether or not I'm better off to go with the tier 5 stuff. I know I've done this every step of the way. It's not, I say it's not so bad. Every step of the way, it's a scale, isn't it? It's all relative in that because you're only making a certain amount in the gold because the gear you're running. When you go to buy a piece of equipment, it's expensive, because of how much money you've got on hand. Then as you start to get better gear and you're running more through it and you're making more money, obviously the price of the next lot of gear goes up. So every time it's not like you can just go, that's anything, I'll get 4 of them. It's not that straightforward. I just don't know if I want to chuck 700 grand and then after using it a couple of times say, I suppose what I could do, and it's a little bit naughty, but I suppose it's one way around it, is if I buy it, so if I save the game, buy it, take it out to the plot, have a go with it, and then decide, okay, not really what I wanted, I can always just come back out without saving the game again because I've got autosave turned off. And then just go back to the save before I bought it. And then I technically haven't lost the money. I'm not running 2 separate saves or anything like that. I suppose I could do that. I could do a separate save next time and then just go back to that save rather than one I'm on. I don't know. There's a couple of different ways around it, I suppose. So we want to go to sell gold bars. Does that say 214,000? Wow. Okay. going to tip 2 million. Oh, 2,055,472. Wow, okay. So, investing. Thinking, I think whatever I go for now, it's all Frankenstein gear, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure the upgraded planters, the reinforced trommel, and the Frankenstein are all part of the Frankenstein DLC. So whatever I go for, it's Frankenstein gear. But I mean, that does look seriously cool, doesn't it? That's probably why. It's like, oh, it's big. Look at it. It's just a massive conveyor belt, really, isn't it? At the end of the day, just on tracks. So, and I suppose that's the other thing I'm thinking as well. We started off with that duplex jigs. We've got these now, 2 of those. Gravel pumps the next way of going. I could buy 2 of those. Still have a load of money left, no problem at all. It's knowing which one of these is going to give you the most, what's going to give you the biggest return for the investment. So I could buy that, no problem. Will I see as much of an increase in profit from it to make you think, well, that was worth every penny, that? That is massive, isn't it? Look at it. Maybe that is the one to go for next. How much is the reinforced trommel? So I could go with, you know what, I think I might. Can you tell I'm really drawn towards that? I don't know why. I think swapping gear out might be a better idea. Because if I get the reinforced trommel and I get, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I can't believe I'm doing this. Right, let's add the Glacier Creek. And let's add the reinforced trommel. And then, so the next 2 are going to be, I'm going to need about 1 million, just under 1 million, to get the 2 better duplex jigs. I didn't even save before doing this, did I? That's how committed to this I am. Order. Okay. So we've got 548,872 left, which is not enough to buy that, but when I take out the old trommel and take out the old thingammy-doodad, which one have we got at the moment? This one, the D-Rocker. We'll get some money back on both those. Oh, okay. Got to move into space now. Then run some gear through and let's see how we get on. So we are on... Hang on. We want to go to Rivertown. There we go. Storage space. So that and that. Order. 3 grand. Off it goes. Exciting times. Now, when I moved all the stuff in that other episode, and I showed you, I mean, I actually got into quite a rhythm, and it went really smoothly. You know, carrying the 2 duplex jigs at a time, and something else there were 2 of. I hooked them both up, and it worked brilliantly. Will that work if I try and do it on camera? Of course not. There's absolutely no way that will work for me. Life would not be that kind, would it? Of course that's not going to work. I'd love to think it would. So yeah, we're now, that's the other thing I was talking about, wasn't I? It was about, sorry about that, that's Farm Dog. Decides to go in with a squeaky toy, lovely. Was that I'm kind of get a feeling, like as I am now with the money, I've still got loads of this claim to clear. And with the money we're making, and if those 2 new bits of gear make a big difference on what we're getting, fantastic. But then where do I go from there? Once I've bought those, I'm up at tier 5. And if I do get the Frankenstein, that's everything. There's no more new gear to buy. I've upgraded everything to where I can. I will have done all but one. It's only going to take me another couple of runs through the gear to have enough magnetite on hand to do that final upgrade at the blacksmiths. There's nothing left to upgrade. So all that will happen is it's all the major hassle of moving all the gear over to the new claim if I move to a new parcel. And then what I can do then is get better gold out the ground because they yield better, I suppose is the best way to put it. They kind of yield better. But then to what end? I can't spend it on anything. There's nothing to buy after that. I've done everything. So I don't know actually if there's new stuff coming to this game. I don't know if we've got anything new coming. What I need to do is disconnect that. Yeah, so as what I was saying, as I was bringing the stuff out, it kind of worked really well. But it worked really well because there was nothing else in the way. And nothing else was connected up at that point. So just kind of getting stuff into place and hooking things up worked out really well. Can I do that on camera? I doubt it very much. I think it's going to be awful. It might work. Just trying to look at where the hookup points are on here. It's just getting to them all when everything is in place now. That trommel's easy to take out because the connection points are right in the middle. The problem's going to be... Have I not run anything through the gear since... No, I haven't, since I ran the wavetable. Okay, right. Let's have a look. I need my chains. So these are going to need the long chains. I'm just thinking actually the longest ones I've got might not be long enough. This one hooks up where? Okay, here and here. So we might get away with the slightly shorter ones for that. Possibly. Possibly. Right, let's jump in that. Start it up. What am I on? I'm not digging into anything. Thanks for saying that, even though you're wrong. How? I'm not digging. Leave me alone. Right, engine off. Grab the chains. Right. I will see you. You'll either see a little bit of me moving stuff, or you won't. Depends how well it goes. We shall see. I think I'll move the old stuff out first. Get it out of the way. Because I know when I did it before, I kind of tried to do it all in one go and move one lot over, tried to put it down while I took the old lot out, and I just didn't leave myself enough room. So I'll get the old stuff out first and then bring the new stuff in, I think. What could possibly go wrong? I have now run a full 100% through the gear. I love the way that operates, it's really cool. And I've hired a couple of more workers. As you can see, I've got miner's mosses by the side of both of the sluices there. I already did it a little while ago, so I've got 4 down the side here on the hog pan setup. And it's surprising, especially with the sluices, how much of a difference it makes. When you get to 100%, clearing those out by just taking them, because what they'll do is when you hit 100%, they swap the mats over for you. I can take all 6 mats off there without having to take the grates off. It seems like a trivial thing, but it makes a huge difference. I don't know, I'm very pleased. So we're at a point now where I need to run the gear through the magnetite separator. As I said before, normally the magnetite is a good indication of how much gold. The more magnetite in the bucket, normally the more gold is what I've been finding. So we're going to run it all through, see what we end up with, and see whether the new trommel, tier 5. What? I've never had that much magnetite in one bucket load. The highest I've been is about 7,500. That's crazy. That will drop a bit. Normally the first couple of buckets are quite high. Well, I say it will. I think it will. The buckets end up going off wherever I pick them up with them in a while as I need them. And then we'll run it all through the wavetable. That's nuts. That is absolutely bonkers. Because I was going to, well, as I was saying earlier about whether or not it's worth doing the setup and changing it over, will I get more out of it? You know, has it been worth it? Plus, you know, I was saying earlier on about how I'm kind of getting to a point where I will have almost done everything. Once I change out the 2 planters for the new ones, so that's dropped a bit, but that's still pretty high. And it also means in my quest for magnetite for unlocking the last blacksmith perk will happen a lot quicker, because we're up to 19% in there already. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, before people start getting angry and commenting, and yes, there's loads more that can be done in the game. I totally get that. I also understand that my settings, I could change a whole load of the settings. I could make the game a lot harder, I could make it more challenging, I could do all sorts of stuff. Absolutely I could. That one, it's just driving me mad. That won't change the trouble with doing it on a hillside, I found. That won't change the fundamentals of the game. So, yes, I can make it more difficult. Yes, I can change some of the parameters. Yes, I can put on the random events, so all sorts of weird stuff happens that you're not expecting. And that will all add to or change the way I'm playing for a while. But the basics of what I'm doing, digging out the ground, putting it through the system, getting the magnetite out, and then getting the gold, that side of things won't change. Once I've bought all of the machinery that I can, once I've upgraded to tier 5, what I kind of meant was there's no more I can do with that. So, you know, in hindsight, yeah, I was kind of, wasn't being trying to be negative about it, but realistically I've always found with this, and with any game I've ever played, there's a fine line between a challenge and fun. You know, I don't mind games to be challenging, and if you want a challenge, change your settings and up that, you know, that difficulty or whatever you want to do to make it more challenging. But for me, there has to be an element of fun to it. I don't like making the game so challenging that, yes, it tests every ounce of every fibre of your being, but you're not having fun doing it. You know, you're getting frustrated and angry and cross, and yes, maybe in some way that forces you to get better, to improve at the game, and, you know, your skill level will increase. But if the whole time your skill level increases, you're angry and frustrated and, you know, but again, that's just a personal preference. That's just me. You know, I like to find that balance. And so it's because I'm talking and stuff at the same time. So, you know, will I go in? Will I change any of the settings? Run through the gear again? I don't know. You can if we come into this setting. Will it show me on here? Oh no, so if I go and do it on the tablet, if you go onto each of the parcels, you can reset the parcel. It costs you some money to do it, but you can completely reset the parcel and start again on it if you want to. So you don't have to start a new game, I suppose. If you've got all your gear, it will cost you money to do it, but you might tackle it a different way when you do it. Like I say, I don't know how you want to go about doing these things. Each to their own. So what I'm going to do, once we finish with this, how much more we got? 2 more runs, and then we see how much gold we get. This has the potential to be the largest amount, and if it does turn out to be the largest amount, then that new trommel and that glacier creek was well worth it. Next up is those two. No, these two, not the sluices. Once we've done those two, that's tier 5. So we are tier 5 partial at the moment, and then we'll be tier 5 complete. I'm not far off being able to afford it now. It will just use pretty much all of my spare money, and I do need money to pay my workers, so I will do a little bit more. Because I do want to. I want to get both of those, and I want to get the Frankenstein. Once I've done all of that, potentially my kind of run, my making videos on here, I may stop. I'm not sure yet. So out of all of that, 48% magnetite. Now I've run through on the earlier sort of settings, I would run through 100% of the gear, and I would end up with 16% in that bucket for magnetite. That's amazing. Right, let's turn this on and see what we get. I was doing this the other day, and I wasn't feeling at all well, and I was feeling tired. My head was splitting. I thought I'll get some done, sort of off camera. And 2 or 3 times I turned around, picked up a bucket and tipped it in without keeping an eye on the percentage. And each bucket is roughly, if it's full, is 50%. So I lost 2 or 3 times. I lost a load because I just wasn't paying attention. I just really wasn't focusing. And that's on me. Let's see where we end up, shall we? So what I'll do as I'm doing these, I go down, place buckets I've used. So I'm interested, like he was saying about those, the 2 new ones of those only have 1 bucket rather than 2. Don't know how that works. Oh, seems to be climbing quite well. I did have someone comment to say if you leave the water running over the mats you lose gold. I haven't had that happen. They sit on 4% or whatever. I haven't had them drop at all while I've been doing jobs like this. Not that I've noticed anyway. And it seems to have set itself back now. I'm saying 8 days till winter, which is worrying, which means I'm going to have to think about sorting all my gear out for storage and whatnot. So that seems to have balanced itself back out again. I just don't know whether I can get to where I want to before that runs out. And it did also say that my I've got a name for it, the generator got struck by lightning. But I think as well that might be one of the settings that I will only have an impact if you have a particular setting turned on. So I'm sure it said when I was reading up on it, if it gets struck by lightning, anything attached to it can be damaged. And I didn't have that happen, so that's a good thing. As far as I can tell. Okay, looking good. Last couple. And then when we're done on that, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, because we are now into tier 5. Wow. Last bucket. Let's just let it run out. Okay. Perfect. Should... No, I can't remember. When I swapped over the parcels, did I go over 5,000? I can't remember what I got now. I was blown away by what I got anyway, but this is going to be a good one. It's going to be good. Will we clear 5,000 grams? Oh, wow, okay. That was a big jump. Must have some big nuggets. Last 10%. Wow, okay. That's crazy. 5,357 grams. Whoa! I'll take that every time, that'd be great. So, that's where I'm going to leave it. I now am aiming towards the last few bits of tier 5. Hopefully. At least it's the plan. Oh no, hang on, I think I've got a little bit more gear to... more dirt to run through. I don't think I ran it all through. No, we've still got some there. So, hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, as always, thanks for watching.